Hey guys, welcome back to Comfy Cozy Up, or welcome to Comfy Cozy Up if you've been here for the first time. So today is about Brooklyn Book Festival. So I am headed out and I have about 30 minutes before I get to the first panel. Hopefully I'm not late and I can get in. So come along with me. And if you make it to the end of this video, please like, share, and comment. Alright, later guys. Alright guys, I made it. Barely made it, but let me show you what the newspaper looked like this year. Isn't this gorgeous? So good.
If you're by yourself.
We have a single room.
Perfect, thank you. Another one seat, front row.
Please. Okay. Next, we have Joyce Carol Oates, who is a recipient of the National Humanities Medal awarded by President Barack Obama, and the National Book Critics the National Book Critic Circle's Ivan Sandroff Life Achievement Award. I practiced that in the mirror this morning. I still do it today. The National Book Award for Fiction, the Jerusalem Prize, the Prix Femina, the Chino del Duca World Prize, and is a 5-time finalist for the Pulitzer Prize.
Ooh.
She has written some of the most enduring. Yes. Joyce is not my boss, but you should also feel free to applaud. She has written some of the most enduring fiction of our time, including the bestsellers Blonde and We Were the Mulvaneys. She's the Roger S. Berlin 52 Distinguished Professor of the Humanities Emerita at Princeton University and a member of the American Academy of Arts and Letters. In 2024, she won the Raymond Chandler Lifetime Achievement Award given to, quote, a master of the thriller and noir literary genre, end quote. Fox is her newest novel, but don't let the title of the book deceive you. She loves cats more than anyone. So. And directly to my left, we have the great S.A. Cosby, a New York Times best-selling writer from southeastern Virginia, who is the author of All the Sinners Bleed, which was on more than 40 Best of the Year lists. Give it up for that.
Yes.
As well as the Edgar Award finalist Razor Blade Tears, and the Los Angeles Times Book Prize winner Blacktop Wasteland. He has also won the Anthony Award, the ITW Thriller Award, Barry Award, McCavity Award, BCALA Award, and Audie Awards, and has been longlisted for the ALA Andrew Carnegie Medal for Excellence. King of Ashes is his latest book. Please give it up for S.A.
We tell our families, I think is a part of that sort of Southern storytelling tradition, whether it's in a book or whether it's sitting around a fire, grilling barbecue. There's all these stories that are sort of remnants of the people that came before us. And so for me, I wanted to write a story that felt sort of epic, sort of had a Godfather influence, which is funny because we're sitting here and I feel like I should be like, I'm just a simple olive oil water. But also I wanted to write a story that dealt with secrets and the corrosive nature of secrets. A friend of mine read the book in the early draft said, if the three of these siblings would just talk to each other, the book would be over in 10 minutes. And I think one of the things that influenced the book, I was listening to President Obama and Bruce Springsteen's podcast, and I love all music, but I'm a big Springsteen fan. And he said something about ghosts that haunt you. He said, you got to take the ghosts that haunt you and turn them into ancestors that walk beside you.
Ooh.
And I was thinking, yeah, but what if those ancestors are still really angry with you? And so that was sort of the non-supernatural genesis of the book. But, I remember growing up and hearing a story in my family. There's a legend that my great-grandfather's son was murdered, he was lynched. And the story is that my great-grandfather waited 12 years. And then he had a brother in Chesapeake Bay. And I come from a family of watermen, fishermen and stuff. And so the legend is that he waited 12 years. And instead of fishing, he hired his boat out as a charter boat. And he took the man who killed his son and the man's son out on the boat. And the three of them went out and only one person came back. And so, he was like taking in the charges and stuff, but they could never prove anything. And I remember my grandmother telling me that story. And I asked my uncle, I said, is that true? And he said, if it ain't, it shouldn't be.
Thank you. My novel was set at a prestigious prep school that's in South Jersey. And it is sort of based on a real person. I say that hesitantly because the character in the novel is not that person, but the person in real life was a pedophile. He did these things. He was a middle school teacher who was very popular. And I knew about the things that he had done. I actually read about him. But in real life, he wasn't treated with much justice. I mean, he just sort of got away with it. So in my novel, I'm imagining Mr. Fox, who's that very popular, handsome middle school teacher with whom girls fall in love because they just are so smitten with him. And
It's just a curiosity.
yeah, I take my favorite books, which I would love to just read and reread. Moby Dick, Ulysses, and collected poems of Emily Dickinson.
Sure. Next, do we have
Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I'm glad you like them.
I do.
I love writing them. It's so funny. Like I used to work at a hardware store as a manager, and I used to dream about doing this and being able to do it.
So good.
It's no better job to have.
Yes.
It really ain't. You know,
Love this.
I was real poor when I grew up, and so I never was able to travel or do anything like that. And I've been all over the world because of stuff I wrote.
Nice.
You know, everything else is gravy. You know,
Yes.
everything else is gravy. So I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad that you're enjoying them.
Thank you.
It really warms my heart to hear you say that.
Yeah.
I mean, we're nothing when we don't have people reading our books. So
Definitely, especially. Alright, hey guys, so the first seminar with S.A. Cosby was amazing. I was able to get all 3 books of mine signed because only 3 books I have. I think there's 1 book I'm missing. But just how he talks and how passionate he's about writing. And even when he was signing my book and the feedback he was like saying about appreciative reviews, about people reading his book and how far he's come, it's just, he's amazing. I'm definitely a huge fan of his, and you know, you guys that introduced me to him a year ago through the book jar, yeah, the book jar will always be on my channel because that's how I get introduced to a lot of authors that I wouldn't think of picking up their book. But I wanted to also get Joyce, but for some reason they didn't have enough copy of her book, and the woman is 87. And the amount of accolades she has, I wanted one of her books and I wanted to get it signed, but all her books were sold out, so that was a bit disappointing. And she was, I could see on her face, she was very bummed out about that, but they weren't prepared for her. They weren't prepared for the fact that people wanted her books, and that's a shame. But I'm gonna walk around. I have about an hour before the next panel, so I want to walk around, go to a few of these booths and see what they have. I've only met one person and an author that I know, so I'm happy about that. All right, on we go.
is a little hot today.
So hey guys, we have an author here, and it's a Haitian representing Caribbean book, and she's going to tell us a little bit about her book.
Hi y'all, I'm Esterline, and my new book is Coconut Paradise. It's part 1 of 4, and it's a family heirloom and a very Haitian homecoming. It's about Cassandra, who's a Haitian American influencer, and she moves to Haiti to save her family's hotel after the passing of her grandmother. And at the hotel, she learns about the mystery behind it, the mystery behind her family, and the grandmother she never met, who also leaves behind a herbal recipe book.
Hey! We're gonna read it.
Yes.
Because I love her energy.
It's a fun, cute read.
It's a Caribbean book. What?
Yeah.
We support it.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm eating this ginger candy, and I'm trying to get over here with trinkets. There's a lot of people over here. Alright guys, so I bought the bookmark. I thought it was cute. You pick your charm and they will put together, but it was an hour wait. Don't have time for that. So, and you guys know I'm a crafty. I'm disappointed. So I can put it together, and plus it's different because it's like a glass kind of bookmark, and I don't have anything like that. And it's not like I have tools to make it. So this is one of those where I know I can't make this. But the gadgets and everything, they gave me everything. So when I get home, I'll put it together and you guys get to see how cute it is. So I put the book girl era because I want to make a bag that says I'm in my craft girl era. My cricket's coming out. So this is gonna kind of match. So alright guys, I am still walking. I have about 30 minutes for the next panel. I need to get some water because I'm thirsty. And yeah, we're still walking around. Alright guys, I love how bold I am today because I saw a Macy card and I know her face, but I couldn't remember her book. And I'm like, I know who you are. I know I read your book. And then I introduced myself. She said, yeah, I remember you because you did a video. So I was like, I'm so bold. So I'm like, when's the next book? It's with the editor. So I was like, all right, 2026. She said, no, it looks like a 2027. So yeah, I love that. Hopefully soon. Hopefully it's a good one. I'm here for it. Love seeing Caribbean authors out here. So alright guys, still walking, people looking at me, thinking the camera's the opposite way, but it's not. Don't care. But anyway, I am still walking around, and I'm going to walk towards the other panel because I need to get some water. And I still didn't see the Caribbean booth. There's always a Caribbean booth. So maybe when I come after this panel, I might walk down here for that. Other than that, the weather is beautiful, guys. Beautiful. It is not hot. It's just perfect. All right. All right. Just go. Keep going, right? Mystery book?
You can grab any book from the back table. Yeah. Okay. Pop culture.
y'all. I spin the wheel at Simon and Schuster. This is what I want. I kind of wanted just the bag, but maybe it might be something. Maybe, but I am still walking on one side. Still haven't gotten to the other side, but yeah. Also, I met Bethany, guys. Never met her before. I know she's in the New York area, but never met her before. So I met her today. She was so sweet. Recognized her immediately. And so yeah, I'll pop a picture somewhere here so you can see her. So yeah, we're still out here. So guys, I've been coming to this festival for years. They've never extended it to the streets of Montague. Y'all look at this, look at this. In the streets. I don't know. And this is the line I'm supposed to be joining in. And it's moving, so that's a good thing for me. But I really want something to drink. And I want to use the restroom. Damn it. We're gonna do this. Alright. It's not a part of Book Professor. It's a craft situation. But I'm gonna come back and be nosy. Yeah, it's craft. Absolutely not books. But they slick. They did the same weekend. So that's a good look for them. They were smart for this. Alright. Again, this line.
Sweeping 150-year or so saga that tracks post-bellum kind of shared family dynamics across 4 states and finds itself in 2019 in New York City. And Flashlight, set in also multiple countries, Japan, a tiny bit in North Korea, a tiny bit in South Korea, and the US, tracks a disappeared man's family and their kind of efforts to rebuild life after a shocking incident that no one quite remembers properly. So all super ambitious, all terrific books. I thought I might start with just a bit of a generalist question. All 3 books felt to me like they had some aspect of excavation in them. When we write fiction so well as the 3 of you do, I do think it comes from the desire to tell a story. And these stories all felt to me like they were trying to excavate something that might not be in the normal historical narrative. Things that you might have discovered, things that might have drawn you in. And I wonder if you each might share what drew you to excavate these particular stories.
I just tried to turn on my microphone, but also loud. Can y'all hear me?
No, just fine.
I have trouble turning it on. Yeah.
Why don't you share this?
Yeah. Can you turn? It's starting on. Okay. So it was the pandemic. Like it was March 2020. I was losing my mind trying to do virtual workout classes while watching Tiger King, and I was like, you know, New York got so quiet. Like post-apocalyptic quiet. I had an apartment near Central Park, and I couldn't even hear a dog bark for days and weeks on, and I couldn't even hear my the people on my hallway. The only thing I heard were these blaring sirens, ambulance sirens going up and down the boulevards. And I think in the midst of living by myself and going stir crazy, and also working as a senior editor at the time where I had to watch things, I couldn't even disconnect. I think it was just like, I want to write a love story. It was that simple. I was like, I want to write a love story where we win at the end.
I have to speak to what you just said, Alejandro, because I have a teenager who, there's a huge Sex and the City revival going on right now. And so he and his friends would be watching Sex and the City in my living room, binging it, and I would come in and watch with them for a minute. And at some point I had to turn to them and I said, you know it wasn't like this. Well, because I was living here during these years, but they don't care, is the thing. They want that they want that sugary fancy world. Excavation is such an interesting word, and also I love what you said about the pandemic, because I also was working on this book it began in thinking before the pandemic, but it really started taking shape during the pandemic, sitting on, sitting on my back deck listening to you. I mean, there were more sounds, lots of dogs. I heard lots of dogs barking and neighbors banging the pots at 7 p.m., which was really comforting. But I think mostly what I'm thinking of is the fact that there are a lot of things that happen in my book, but one of them is inspired by a real life series of events that took place in Japan in the late 1970s, which to me doesn't feel like historical fiction because I was alive at that time, like some people up here. But these events had been not recognized as being part of an overall pattern, and it took decades for the people, you can see I'm dancing around spoilers, it took decades for the people who were affected by these events to recognize that these events were related and to start understanding that they had all been victimized by the same thing. And so I think that excavation was what really got me fascinated to start, was this thing of like these events lying in plain sight, but
so I wonder, just thinking about how language plays a part in a book like this, because of all three, I was really captivated by that.
Oh yeah, I had to learn African American vernacular English all over again. Mm-hmm. Like I've been speaking it since I was born, but I've never seen it written. And I met a man named Howard Smith. He is professor at Cornell, and he was like, we were on Zoom, he was like teaching me how to speak, to be honest. He was like, I want you to listen to this narrative from a formerly enslaved woman from South Carolina, and I want you to dictate what she's saying. And she's talking about her life, but then she says master, but the T is very slight. And he's like, why would the Hollywood keeps putting master when there were enslaved people that said master is very light? And he was like, I want you to go back to these narratives and I want you to dictate it yourself. And then I remember I was like, how am I gonna sound like a Mississippian from 1865? I wasn't there, my people are from New Jersey. And then a friend of mine who's also a linguist, Taylor Jones, he was like, listen to old blues music. He said, if you listen to Muddy Waters, he was like, his grandparents were born on a plantation. He's like, dictate his songs. So I was dictating like Muddy Waters and Bob Johnson and like Son House and all these people from that area to get the dialect correctly. And then I had to remind myself that A and B is highly complex. So if some character is speaking with the I-N and no G at the end, they have to speak like that the entire time. You can't.
Why did you end it with a daughter?
Why did I
end it with a daughter?
With the daughter?
Yes. Was that like a conscious decision? Is it a generation thing?
I don't know. It just felt like right. It just felt right. Although the ending had more to it, and then my editor felt like that was too much. My editor was like, I think we should cut it back, but it was still more about her.
Yeah. Okay. Because she was a difficult character for me. A very difficult character for me.
A lot of people have struggled with her. It's so funny because one of the women in the line said, I really appreciated how difficult the character was. I was like, some people don't. Yeah. I'm glad you stuck with it.
Yes.
Because I felt that.
All right, so that panel was really, really good. I love the questions were really nice and interesting. When you think of books like when they asked Morgan Jerkins, and she talks about go back in time, and her story has a romance in it, and you don't get that in books surrounding slavery or that time period. And how do you be true to the time period but still focus on something positive? And the fact that she wrote this during the pandemic says a lot, because we know the mindset that we were all facing at the time. Very good, very interesting. Looking forward to reading her book. I did buy it yesterday because I didn't want to read it. Historical fiction, my kind of jam. So I'm sprinting back because I got literally 20 minutes to get to my last panel, which is Claire Adam. Should be interesting. I'm also thirsty, so I'm hoping to get a bottle of water. Yeah. All right, guys. Me sprinting, and the weather's nice still. All right.
Nice. Okay.
Got my little free book. Look, girl, look at the hair. Look at the hair. Nice. While you're saying it, go ahead.
So both are with chaperone. This one here is a spicy Netflix novel. And this one here is like a modern day Lord of the Flies. Very dystopian.
Okay, I'm here for the spice. And a little bit of, what is that?
Dystopia.
Dystopia. All right, we here. I love her energy, guys. She's like, I'm out here. We're going to sell these books. That's it.
These books away for free.
And that too. It's in the bag. All right, good.
There's a below. He really knows how to cry. That's how I cry in my pillow. If you are to say farewell.
For being here, this is so fun and it's so lovely to be on a panel with all of you wonderful people. So my book is, so I'm La Forms, so my book is set in Trinidad and Tobago and the UK and also Venezuela. And it starts with a young girl who's 16 years old and she's sent across the sea to Venezuela to have a baby and give the baby up for adoption. And then we pick up with her many years later where we see that she's living in London, things have changed for her a lot, but she's always sort of felt the pull of the past. And it turns out that she's still looking for this baby that she gave up for adoption 40 years before. So for me, in terms of the sort of love question, like I didn't start with thinking, about love. I guess that's something that sort of came out through the writing. I sort of started with, this idea of one woman and her daughter, and for some reason I thought that they had been separated, and I didn't know how, and I didn't know where in the world they were, but I felt that somehow they were looking for each other, and I guess I was trying to understand what that pull was. I was trying to sort of ask if they'd been separated at birth, as mother and baby, like why would they look for each other? Like what is it that would draw them together? So I guess we could sort of, like having finished the novel, we can now say, oh, it was love, but I didn't sort of set out with that answer in mind. I set out with the question.
Next. Hello. Also a pleasure for me to be on this panel. And I'd also like to congratulate Claire. I'm not sure if it was mentioned, but your book is longlisted for the Booker. And it's an incredible honor. And for my book, for Ibis, I was very conscious of different forms of love. So I was interested in forms of filial, which is brotherly love, and storge, kind of what a parent would have for their kids. Romantic love, of course, and agape, which is even religious love.
首先非常感谢，就是有这样的一个组合，让我们可以谈论到关于爱这件事。因为显然，我们在直觉谈到爱都先想到正面的罗曼史，但事实上谈论爱的时候，爱本质是非常复杂的。
First of all, I want to say I'm really grateful for the opportunity for this combo of people on this panel so that we can talk about these different facets of love. Because oftentimes when people talk about love, it's always the very positive idea of romantic love. But love in itself has many different sides to it, it's very complex.
是，像我们谈这本书，其实在描写一个1938年到39年间，当时台湾是日本殖民地，日本殖民吴国的一位女作家到殖民地台湾来，遇到了被殖民者的另外一位女性，他们两个之间，在1年间一边旅行一边两个人的关系有所变化，这样的所谓爱这件事情，就是有一个很明显的权力落差。
The story of Taiwan Travelogue is set between 1938 and 1939 in what Taiwan that was under Japanese colonial rule at the time. And the premise is that a Japanese woman goes to Taiwan, has a Taiwanese interpreter who, so this is the relationship already between a colonizer and the colonized. They go on a year-long series of travels around Taiwan, but right there we can already see that no matter how their relationship evolves throughout the course of that year, there's already the connotation of power discrepancies in their love.
That I don't know even England, where I've lived for over 20-something years, and like once I kind of realized, okay, so this mother, I was trying to work out how is this woman separated from the baby, and I was like, in Trinidad, I was like, okay, I know exactly how, and I know, like I could see everything, and I could sort of understand sort of wider the family circumstances and the social circumstances, and helped. I'm going to answer the question, and like it helped because. So the way she starts in Trinidad, she goes to Venice, this is like at the beginning, but this is also like my writing process. It's like over and over again, it's like, okay, it starts here, and then this happens, and then that happens, and like what was important for me was like to physically get into this woman's body, and like where it starts for her, like how she gets pregnant, which is at Carnival.
Was she born in November?
Carnival baby. Exactly, and that's the thing. Like it's like I know exactly how she gets pregnant because everybody knows. Like and you know exactly how and when the baby is going to be born, and because she's from this conservative family, and it's like well they have to keep it a secret. So she's going over to Venezuela, and then
how did it evolve into this form of love over the 5 years? Amazing! Congratulations again on the award.
No, so that, I mean, the book is not autobiographical, I guess is the short answer. I mean, so the part that I did draw on was that, so the character is born and grew up in Trinidad and then left, she left at 16, so that is where things sort of are the same for me. And then there's kind of, a lot of what she sort of experiences in adulthood is this kind of, she lives, so from the age of 16, she kind of lives life as a sort of an exile. So I didn't sort of have that, I wasn't kind of looking back at somebody in my family saying, well, your life is going this way, mine is going that. But I guess for me, it was more like the sense, and you guys may also sort of have these experiences or questions, kind of the life not lived. You kind of look back and you think, oh, well, if I had stayed, what would it have been like? Because it's not always easy. I don't know how you guys find it, or people, it's not always easy leaving your home and having to kind of make your way in the big wide world, right? It's like, we miss home. I'm guessing you guys miss home, and, some of you may have left wherever you started from, and, it's not always easy. So I certainly experienced that, and the character in the book experiences that very much.
That's organized. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, well done. Very.
Alright guys, so did my last book signing and I love this. Now I've read a few translated work, but I've never been to a panel for a translated work of a person who really had to translate. I've been to 4, but the person was able to speak English. But it was just how she talked about it. The translator was amazing. I was so fascinated. I was more fascinated with this than, Claire Adams' book that I really came here for, because I wasn't familiar with this, and she won National Book Award winner. Don't know what the year is, but I'm gonna read it. This translated work, but the storyline seemed very interesting. But yeah, today was a fun day. Got to go to all the panel that I intended to go to. Walked around a few, did not see half of the vendors, to be honest with you, because I had so much. I only had 1 hour free time in between the panels that I want to go to, so I didn't really get to explore as much. That's the only thing that I wish I was able to do more, but I can't complain. This bag is very heavy, guys. When I say I don't know how it's holding up, but this tote bag is holding up. DIY is holding up because it is heavy and I'm tired. And I need to head back, so I'm heading back home now, and I will be editing this and show you guys in a minute. So I hope you guys will watch it. If you get to the end, just leave me some love, a comment, share, all that good stuff, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.